Hey, data streamer.
Hey,
You,
hello.
I remember that you always choose the female like gender when you create a character in MMORPGs or any game at all. Like when it's possible.
Yeah, yeah.
I literally never do that.
You never do that.
I never do that. But hey,
Yeah,
I totally understand. I mean,
yeah,
uh, because I always choose the male character,
yeah.
I always look by accident at a male's ass. But I understand. I prefer to look at the
Yeah,
lady's
true.
ass as
That's
well.
true. That's true. Yeah, well, it's pretty funny how that works because I never really did it with that idea. I mean, that's a lot of people said, "Oh, you got to look at a girl's ass or whatever," but I never really made characters in games with that idea in mind. I always had issues with like identifying with male characters in games somehow
Why?
because usually they are like these massive guys. Usually, not
But you're
always.
able, but you're able to modify that as well, right?
Not always. Like if you play Korean games, you are almost never able to modify the males far enough that they wouldn't be like these hulking like dudes. I mean, a lot of those Korean games, Korean MMOs, they don't have that.
Yeah,
The
you can. You can
you
like
know,
modify the body for thinner mode.
yeah, you
But
can, you
I
can.
understand. I think you
It
don't know
the
because you always choose the female character.
No, no. Well, I do know. I always check out the things, but it's always like this weird body that I'm like, but then there's also like the a lot of times it's also like the customization. Female characters, you can customize them more. There's more options for them. There's more things. There's a lot of factors, but also there's like this like how do I say it? This kind of grace and softness that the characters have that I miss with male characters, and that somehow I'm kind of an abrasive guy myself. I'm loud and I'm very opinionated, and I like I have this deep voice, and it's like really overpowering to some people sometimes, and I think it's like some kind of how do you say trying to experience something else than my normal burly dude self. It's something like that. Uh, because I often have issues with just playing the male characters, and especially when they are like these really big, tough, badass guys. I know that like uh, people enjoy those a lot, but I enjoy them a lot less. But the funny thing is that when I'm watching movies, I do enjoy those kinds of characters, but not when I'm playing a game. You
Yeah,
know,
and in anime as well, I suppose.
yeah. In
I
anime,
assume.
in anime, they're pretty. I mean, but the thing is, the interesting thing is that in anime, the big burly guy is not really a thing. Most of those guys are skinny, and they're like really small and
Sure.
skinny when
I
they
don't, I
when they
don't
draw
make
them.
I don't I don't make my characters too bulky or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I do keep them lean at
Yeah,
least, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I
exactly.
try to make them as cool as possible,
Yeah,
but in the the limitations of the
yeah,
customization tool.
yeah,
And I do act as if it as if that protagonist is me, of course.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
try to make myself as well.
yeah. I don't really act as if it's me. I'm I always view my characters as somebody else. Um but I'm not but not entirely somebody else. They do embody a part of me, but it's always this kind of detached character that I'm like it's not me, but it's like a part of me that I wish I had more of in me, something like that. So it's like there's this idea of like um, kind of admiring certain things and kind of not really wishing, but kind of like having a feeling that it would be nice to have those things. something like that. But I mean, to kind of like wrap it around and kind of bring it back to our kind of channels kind of focus. Um, this is also a quite a cyberpunky topic because like it's kind of bordering on the transgender type of thing, or even gender expression. Gender expression has always been this massive thing in a lot of cyberpunk stories, especially when the more heavily body modification stories where people can literally like swap entire bodies and stuff like that. Uh, there's a lot of that stuff all over the place in a lot of stories, and even some that were planned but scrapped. Like for example, the character in the Matrix called Switch. She wears white. She has short hair, white short hair, and inside the Matrix she wears white. That character was originally planned to be male in the real world, but female in the Matrix. You know, so I think they changed that because the entire idea was like oh. I mean, it's the '90s. There was a lot of religious weirdo stuff going around, and very conservatives, like that kind of stuff. So it's like I imagine that if they make the Matrix today, Switch would be a dude play, and the in-game character would be a girl, just like the original would be, because it's a very common thing to have like uh how do you call it? I wouldn't even say it's gender dysphoria, but it's like this online dysphoria thing where your persona, your online persona, is not really your real life persona, and then that can take many forms, and being a different gender is one of the forms it usually takes when playing video games. You know, and that was like something the Matrix also wanted to explore, because there is a lot of transgender there are a lot of transgender ideas in the Matrix. I mean, the entire premise of like moving into the Matrix and like your body switching and like your residual self image, that kind of stuff, those terms, and like how you see your true self. That's the Wachowski said. Those were a lot of transgender ideas that they were exploring inside the Matrix. That kind of stuff. And it's not only the Matrix. You have it like also in Ghost in the Shell, for example, in the manga, but also in Standalone Complex. Standalone Complex, the first episode had um, a politician. Uh, was There was like a party somewhere, and they raided uh, the Botoku Kusanagi's section 9, section public peace section 9, raided this party because this politician was being compromised or something like that. But the way that the villains compromised the politician was that they found out the guy liked to switch bodies with his uh geisha sex robots, and then so he would put his brain inside the geisha robot, and the geisha robot's brain would go inside his head, and then he would just do himself while being the geisha robot. You know what I mean? So he would have sex with the geisha robot while being the geisha robot. That was like episode 1 of Standalone Complex. It's a pretty interesting story, but the villains, they figured that out. So what they did was that they put one of their agents inside the geisha robot, and when the switch happened, they got the guy. They got him. They put his brain in a briefcase, and then they tried to ship him outside the country, smuggle him outside the country inside a briefcase. But there's a lot of that stuff in a lot of cyberpunk media, and it's fairly common because it's like the most obvious thing to do. I mean, if you could switch your body and your brain or whatever, obviously somebody's gonna turn into a dude or a girl, or a girl or whatever, you know. So that's fairly straightforward to do in a world like that, you know. The they're like, for example, Cyberpunk 2077. There was also a character that was transgender. But the interesting part was that character is that this character is, let's say, for the 2077 times, this character is traditionally transgender. So this character is not cybernetically transgender. This character is literally the way we do transgenders these days. It's like operating on the body and whatever, the traditional way. Traditional being the way we do it these days, because in the world of 2077, you can just switch bodies easily through cybernetics. So that doesn't. So that's like whatever. So uh, the topic of transgenderism and switching bodies and stuff like that is a whole thing in 2077. I mean, there is a spoiler a thing at the end where you finish the game, um, where that there's also one of the endings of the games is pretty much a transgender type ending, you know. One of the, if you, there's like, the game has like almost 10 different endings these days now, because I think the original had 6 and Phantom Liberty added like 4 or 5 endings or something like that. So now there's like 10, but one of the endings, if you choose, you have to choose your way through the game, and then all your choices add up to the ending. One of the endings is is a kind of transgender type of thing that happens there, which is also quite interesting. I mean, the entire genre is full of this stuff. You know, it's all over the place in several stories and stuff. You know, yeah.
Do you have you watched or read cyberpunk media where they actually predicted certain things which are like appearing nowadays?
Well, I mean, a lot of when it comes to genders things,
Yeah.
um, not really. The way it's treated is mostly about how those characters feel, and but I mean, of course, like going online and acting like you're a woman, and or like preferring female characters, female avatars, that kind of stuff. Yeah, sure, that happens, but that happens online in today's world as well. So that's one of the things that they kind of predicted. um
Yeah.
and but most of the times the transgender stuff, I mean, we don't have the technology now to do it the way they do it in these shows, like I said earlier, the politician's body swap thing with the geisha robot and whatever. That's like not possible these days. But if it were to become possible, if our cybernetics reaches the level of Ghost in the Shell, um I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be just switching bodies constantly, you know. Like there'll be rich people who will have a different avatar all the time, and they won't, and a lot of them will probably not even be human avatars, you know.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
will, you know.
So yeah, it's already possible in video games, let alone in
Yeah,
VR,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, video games are the perfect way to show what actually a cybernetic future is going to bring, because they have all the elements of that kind of cybernetic stuff. They you can you can switch out whatever you want. You can become somebody else. You can remove the things you don't like about yourself. You know,
Mm.
all that stuff. You can do it in video games, and that's pretty much what a cybernetic future is. You know, you can just oh, my legs are too short, get longer legs. I
So
think I'm too tall, get a shorter body. You know, that kind of stuff. You know.
if we think in terms of mental health,
Yeah.
I mean, this could lead towards even more insecurity to people, right?
What do you mean? How?
For the fact that like my game character has things that I really actually want to have. How can I have these things? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, like that. Yeah.
yeah,
It
I
can be a problem. Yeah.
yeah. I'm curious though, dear viewers and listeners, what do you choose while you make your character in your RPG game or anything?
Yeah.
Do you know? I mean, do you are one of okay, cut this one out. Are one of these reasons something you can find yourself in,
Hmm.
or do you have another reason? I'm
Yeah.
curious about that.
Yeah. It's always interesting because, for example, I saw
I
with like,
mean, many. Sorry,
oh no
data
problem.
stream, because many people have. There are so many players in a game, and everybody has their his or her own reason as why they choose a certain gender as to play as a gender the whole game.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, for example, I know with Mass Effect, they actually show statistics of how many players chose the male or the female avatar version, and I think it was like 20% chose the female. You know, of course, there are women in those. They didn't say, "Oh, women, the male." They chose. They just said that 20% of the players chose. So it could be that like a lot, most likely a lot of girls with the girl, but of course there's some guys in mixed imagery, and I am one of those. I went with the female voice. Also, when I played Cyberpunk 2077, I also played with a female V. So it yeah, I often I always do that when I have the chance, but it's more common than you think. And yeah, to touch on what you said earlier, it if it causes people to like envy their online persona, there is a danger of it, like people trying to. I mean, let me put it this way: these days we have the entire concept of people being permanently online, that they spend all their time online and stuff like that. And they're what people are actually doing is cultivating an online persona that is different from their real life. And in most cases, probably they are probably cultivating their ideal self. You know, which is interesting because Ghost in the Shell was the end of the at the end, Motoko chose to become her ideal self through merging with the puppet master and transcending beyond humanity. Pretty much a transhumanist idea, and this concept of permanently online video game avatars, VR chat, blah blah blah. I actually think it's a similar idea to what Motoku Kusanagi did, where people are trying to transcend their physical bonds, their physical body, and become their true self, and not what's limited by their physical body, or and also limited by society, because society judges our bodies constantly, male and female. And if you have if you have a male body, you are expected to adhere to certain rules when it comes to clothing, and when it comes to how you act. And if you deviate from these rules, you can get shunned fairly quickly as a male. Women also have the exact same issues, but in their own way, of course. So these kinds of things, when being online, it feels like a cybernetic future where you can just be and do whatever you want, be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and act like you want to do, and whatever, and transcend your like physical meat bag body, that kind of stuff. That's the idea I get from this.
So, in terms of in terms of modifying and going towards modifying your body, evolving your body.
Uh,
Like, would they even do that with like being more the muscles? Yeah, sure. People nowadays use nowadays steroids are used
yeah,
to modify your body to get more
yeah,
enhanced muscles.
yes,
But to use steroids, you still need to train your body, go to the gym in order to make it big.
yeah, that's true. You still need to do
So,
that kind of work. Yeah,
yeah, but I can guess that people are also lazy to do so. So they
definitely.
will. I'm sure maybe that it's there already that people are like doing research on how to have a muscular body without going to a gym or using steroids.
Yeah, that's an interesting one you bring up actually, because that having a muscular, lean, athletic body, it's often a science fiction trope that like for example in 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 Star Trek there was this one planet of like the perfect people. Everybody was like this athletic, whatever, perfect. Everybody was, but nobody seemed to be doing any sports, and they were like, yeah, they're genetically modified and blah blah blah. But so somehow they modified these people to where their bodies are constantly in a state as if they are athletes. And the question is, your question is if that is possible. No idea. It also seems counter intuitive because um, the way the body normally works is that if you don't use something, the body rejects it because the body doesn't want to spend energy maintaining something that it doesn't use. So that's why muscles, atrophy and whatever. If you don't use a muscle, it just stops working because whatever, or it works, it works less well. So the thing is that this is what people want. They want to like not do anything, sleep all day or whatever the hell they want to do, and have the perfect body, the 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 god on earth, the
Perfect mind,
perfect
be
mind.
healthy.
Yeah, the total
No,
perfect Greek god philosopher. You know, that idea. You know, uh, and they don't want to do
know
anything
all the
for it.
skills. Know all the skills. I want
Yeah,
to know how I play piano, guitar,
yeah,
and how to paint Picasso or
yeah,
Bob Ross paintings, or be a master sculptor without practice.
yeah, yeah. And the thing is that in a cyberpunk future, like we saw in the Matrix, for example, but not only the Matrix, also other things. But in a cyberpunk future, it is theoretically possible to like learn these skills, at least inject them in your brain. You would
Yeah,
still have,
downloading them. Yeah.
yeah, you would still need to do the
Oh,
muscle memory part. I mean,
yeah,
there's no way. I mean, you can like change your brain to like be, oh, I could play guitar, but if you haven't touched a guitar, I doubt you'll be able to play the guitar. You'll probably have to
yeah.
play a few times before your muscles actually learn. you
I
know
did see some research. Okay, well, maybe not the research like really scientific results of the research, but I did my
hmm
research on lucid dreaming and on how lucid dreaming can actually develop skills like that as well. Like, not like from scratch. So when you are already doing car driving lessons, for instance, that you can learn to get better at it during a lucid dream. But yeah, I would
yeah,
just want to say that because when I heard of this, it really reminded me of being in the Matrix and download all these kung fu skills by a computer just by plugging in a wire into your
yeah.
brain, right?
The interesting thing is that the Matrix can be seen as a lucid dream because they are kind of sleeping in the chairs.
Yep, 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 yep,
And
yep,
they're
yep.
like it. So that's interesting. That we could do that. Which, like for example, if you have like Sword Art Online, you know, uh, the Nerve Gear, the full dive VR MMOs, they also learned skills and stuff in those games. So I'm wondering if that could transfer to the real world. But we kind of saw something like that in that one movie where they had the AR game, not the VR game. There was a movie where there was like an AR game with Sword Art Online. So it was like they were running around in the city of playing the like Pokemon Go or whatever, that kind of game, where you have like in the real world they put these things. Um, so that's like an interesting idea that if you train in VR or you train inside these cyberspaces, that it could transfer to real life. I think, yeah, most likely it probably could, and even the muscle memory part, probably as well. Yeah, probably as well. Yeah, because
Well,
oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
Well,
No, go ahead.
yeah, it did remind me of a recent video which I saw about this. This is really cyberpunk.
Yeah.
This cybernetic arm or hand you can like plug onto your hand so you can play the piano even faster.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You showed me that one. Yeah. That.
Maybe
Yeah.
we
That.
can link it in the description, the video.
Yeah. Sure.
It's in Dutch, but so summarized, there's a device to put on your hand so you can because so you can play the piano more faster because the most professional pianists, if they train their hand to play the keys as fast as possible, they're limited by their human meat bag, as data streamer
Yeah.
calls it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this device makes it possible to go even faster, which also means wow, music will evolve again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's interesting. I mean, if these days, if you want to play music fast, you kind of like just put it in a computer and like make it go fast. But it's interesting that you could do it with the physical world to like surpass the speed of current playing. So I'm actually interested in seeing. Sorry, sorry. I'm actually interested in seeing what this technology will produce in the future, where we have, like, imagine like a guitar solo, and you're like the fastest solo ever. That kind of crazy stuff. That would be pretty cool to see. And
Well, okay, well, yeah,
yeah, and also maybe not even music, just music. Maybe like for like drawing, if you could like draw,
oh yeah.
you could like strap in this arm and
But
to
that's
practice some
where
techniques. You know.
but that's where the Neuralink comes in handy very well. Then I think
Yeah. Yeah.
if you combine what you think with what you can do with your prosthetic
Yeah.
arm.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, but wait! Imagine a band with with every band member
Yeah.
a prosthetic cybernetic
Yeah.
yeah limb,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah. Yeah.
drummer,
Yeah. That's like the most insane
guitarist.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Exactly. So those are the.
the
Yeah.
whole band. That'll
Yeah.
be crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And to bring it back to the original topic, I'm pretty sure there will be, when we have these kinds of technologies, I'm pretty sure there will be people, artists, who will be modifying their brains because they want to achieve their best self to like play the music in the best way they can. And like they're gonna be modifying their body
Mm,
specifically for playing music
yeah.
and that kind of stuff.
It almost sounds like an Olympic sporter,
Yeah, yeah,
someone doing the Olympics that they are going to use doping.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, these technologies will like transform the Olympics heavily. I think I actually think they're gonna have to like change the rules when these kinds of
Well,
technologies appear.
maybe maybe a third. So you have the Olympics, you have the Paralympics, and then you have the Cyberlympics.
Oh yeah, Cyber Olympics. That's a good one. Cyber Olympics. I like that. Sounds good. Yeah, but true. That's actually true. Maybe they have a third category, and then you like see people like when they like throwing the javelins, but
Whoa!
then it's
Or
like
or or do basketball with a team of like of team
holy
players with
shit.
cybernetics. Like you almost get like
Yeah, yeah,
kung
yeah,
fu basketball with
yeah.
super effects
Exactly.
and stuff. Flying
Yeah,
high, super dunks. Oh my
the
god!
the 100-meter sprint is like gonna be insane. Like you won't even see it. It'll be like it's over 2 seconds. That kind of shit.
Oh,
It's those
yeah.
kinds of things. You're like through with your like pole vaulting. It's gotta be like a 200-meter pole. Like whatever. That kind of crazy stuff. It'll be
uh,
hilarious. It'll be hilarious to see. It may actually be even more popular than the normal Olympics. Sadly for the normal athletes, because I mean it's just gotta be insane. People running at like 200 kilometers an hour or something like that. It's just gotta be crazy. You know, it's yeah. When these kinds of technologies, show up, it's gonna be the most insane thing we will see in these kinds of things. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's all about enabling people to be their true ideal self, and the ideal is whatever you think your ideal self is. That's the thing, and that's why uh, games and online activities or whatever are important, in my opinion, because it allows people to express themselves in ways that they can't do in any other way, in any physical arena or whatever. Yeah, so that's
well,
the thing.
in a way, they do nowadays in real life. Cosplayers.
Yeah, cosplay
and
is
I'm and
another
I
great
and
thing. Yeah,
yeah, and I'm happy, really happy that it exists and that community exists for that, so people can express themselves in that way as well.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's exactly a cosplay is actually a good one, because it's like a pseudo cybernetic thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's kind of like at least mentally, these people like
Yep.
they transform their entire self into a completely different person.
Even
Yeah,
like on the outside, but also some of many times on the inside, as
yeah,
if they are acting like
yeah,
the
yeah.
character.
They learn the
So,
character's mannerisms. They
yeah.
learn how to speak, especially like the really good ones, the professional
Hmm.
ones that also do that. Not they don't
Yeah.
just look like him; they act like the character. Those are really
Yep.
good. Also, crossplay. The
Yeah.
crossplay is becoming even more popular.
Yeah.
Where they play a different gender. They dress up as a girl or a male character, and that
I
kind of
can
stuff.
I can understand that it is very therapeutic for the people who do it,
Yeah, yeah,
who have problems,
yeah,
with their like true identity.
yeah, exactly. But even you don't even need to have problems with your identity, because, like, for example, like
Yeah,
I said
exactly.
earlier, personally I feel like better when I play a female character. Um, but I don't have any problems with my identity. I'm a male. I feel fine. It's no big deal. And
Sure,
I'm
sure.
not
Yeah.
like I'm not trying to be a woman or something like that. It's just a form of expression that makes me feel good. Like I've been these days. I've been playing a lot of Infinity Nikki. It's like this
It's a really
really
good example. Yeah.
yeah, it's like this really cutesy dress up game. I've been playing that a lot. I have like completed the main quest, everything. I'm right now. I'm like collecting the second miracle outfit. It's completely insane how much there is to do in this game, and I'm enjoying everything. And I'm like taking pictures in the game and like stuff like that, dressing up, collecting all these outfits, making all the different outfits. There's another guy I'm playing with, and we're like talking la la la. Yeah, we're just talking about did you see the new outfit? We're like sharing screenshots with each other, and it's it's
It's so,
it's really
it's so cute.
nice. It's really
Yeah.
yeah, it's really cute, really nice, and it's like yeah, this is great. Um, but in real life that would be like really like, oh, what the hell are you doing, you're wearing that, it's really it's different, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
it allows certain types of expression, and that's like cybernetics. I mean, that's like the most what do you call it, the most interesting promise of cybernetics. Actually, it's not that you're gonna be able to run over water or jump over a building or all this like weird stuff. Not none of that, like punch through a wall.
Chainsaws in your
Yeah,
arms.
chainsaw arms, whatever. The most interesting part to me about cybernetics is that you will be able to become your true self. Like let go of the confines of the physical body and just like become the person you always wanted to be, or animal. Some people are probably like, I mean, I imagine somebody is gonna become a centaur, you know, like half man, half horse.
Yeah.
You know those, right, from the Greek mythology, centaurs. Or
Yeah.
somebody's gonna become a minotaur.
Yeah.
They're gonna be Medusa. Like with the snake,
Yeah. I
Pe-
mean,
people are gonna do this.
I have a friend of mine who actually made a chimera. So
Oh,
he attached a head of a mouse to
oh
a
yeah.
body of a rat or something.
Oh, oh,
And it worked. That animal was alive, but
oh, really?
he stopped that study.
Oh, he's a bio engineer or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. He used to be a very smart guy.
Oh,
But
oh.
do you think like going and embracing the cyberware and even more prosthetics like that would be the next step in our human evolution?
Oh, definitely, 100%. It really is the next thing we do, because like our technology is moving so fast, but our bodies are like, these bodies are 200,000 years old. You know, human race is like 200,000 to maybe 400,000 years old, but
Yeah,
the
but so it took
you know
200,000 years, the time to evolve the way we are right now. So
well,
by using
yeah.
technology, right, make we will skip
Well,
certain evolvements, I
Well,
think.
it took several billion years to evolve to humans,
Sure, sure,
but
yeah,
to develop our society, it took about 200,000 to 400,000 years or so to come from like tree dwelling, like whatever,
monkeys.
monkeys, whatever. Yeah, exactly. To go from that to landing people on the moon, it took about 400,000 years. You know, so our technology is moving quickly now, but our bodies are stuck in the past, and
but
yeah, that will need to
but
change.
if we keep on thinking like this, right, data streamer, then the first aliens we will encounter, if we encounter them, then it's only logical that they would have like cybernetic enhancements to their bodies as well.
Yeah, yeah. I highly doubt the if we encounter
The,
any aliens, if they are the ones coming over, because we could encounter aliens,
yeah,
but it could be that we are the ones going to them. That's
sure.
also possible. But if they are the ones coming here, I doubt they are unenhanced
Meat bags,
meat
yeah.
bags going through space. That's like that's the like biological beings in space is a really bad idea. It's a massive limitation. We you pretty much destroy your body if you do that.
Yeah.
So humans will have to modify. If we're gonna be out there in space for a long time, humans will have to be genetically modified or modified in some kind of way to survive that.
Yeah, or the surrounding they are in, right? I mean, I've heard that even astronauts, they if they come back to Earth after a little while being in the space station,
Yeah.
that they have to be hospitalized because they are just like really
Yeah,
like a pile of meat.
yeah, they're weak. Their bones are brittle. Their eyes are fucked. Their stamina is weaker. It's really crazy how bad space is for you. So that's a big problem. Like for example, those people, those two astronauts that were stuck, they're stuck on the space station now. They were supposed to be there for like a week, but then there were like technical issues with the spacecraft, so now they're stuck there until like, where was it, until the end of March or some shit. It's really, they when they come back, they're gonna have to rehabilitate, and it's gonna be bad. I think they've been up there. They will probably be up there for a year by the time this is over, and it's gonna be really bad when they come down. So those kinds of things prevents humans from going to space. Uh, So so you would need to have enhanced humans, either cybernetically or genetically or something, before we
Yeah.
actually go to space in any kind of way. So the aliens would also be like that. There's no way there's like this alien that evolved on a planet would be like, oh, we evolved on this planet. Oh, by the way, we could also survive in space. Hell no, no way.
Oh,
That
but
you
it
know
does remind me of this insect or animal we have on this planet which does kind of survive in space, right?
But
The
tardigrade.
tardigrade. Yes.
Yeah, but the way it survives is kind of this weird shit. They do this whole hibernation thing,
Ah,
and then wait for like heat and whatever to revive them or some weird shit. It's like this weird metabolism thing that they do. But yeah, it's true they survive, but it's like uh, it's kind of like a cryo sleep thing. But it's yeah, they are pretty tough as well. They can survive in pretty. They have been found in really extreme conditions, so they're pretty
yeah,
tough
and I think
guys.
they're doing research. I think they're doing also research on them
Yeah.
as well. How what we can copy from them, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So there's
Yeah,
a lot of stuff going around with that, but yeah, it's gotta be tough to travel space and not and being a meat bag. It's gotta be really bad. Yeah,
yeah. And on that note, later streamer, thank
yeah,
you. Let's leave the space open for now.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
Everybody, thank you for listening to us. Please support us by liking and subscribing.
yeah.
You can also have a discussion with us in our Discord channel. Please see the link in the description. And we will see you in the next episode. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yes.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.